Hi, this is Mayan, and today we're talking about the best coach that I could find on the lot, aka my favorite coach. Right behind me is a 2008 Foretravel Nimbus. This is the 38-foot classic floor plan with 2 slides on the driver's side. And today we're gonna walk around it, and this is a really magnificent little coach. Like I mentioned, it's the 38 floor plan, so it's about 38 foot long. And it's extremely well built. So in the front, we've got a 10,000 watt quiet diesel generator, and it is on a gen slide. This is one of the most beautifully styled buses, in my opinion, just from the aspect of being kind of unique and timeless. In a sense, you couldn't put an age on this. You know, especially when you come in and look at these little angled pieces coming in, and just the whole front cap is a massive fiberglass piece starting right back here and ending way up there. So the cap is massive. And then on top of that, the amber lights are not just, you know, kind of put on the coach, or sometimes they make tries at making indentation for the amber lights to sit in. But this coach fully embraces it, with the fiberglass being extensively molded for 5 amber lights in the forehead of this coach. Now we've got a nice little subtle Foretravel logo right here, and that is under our curved one-piece windshield. And even from the outside, you can peer in the coach and you see the front TV wood piece, and you can just tell that interior is a classic, but we'll get to that soon. We have 2 very nice Ramco mirrors, almost flawless mirrors. And they have the Foretravel insignia on the mirror too, make it a little more special. And as you come around the side, you can really tell it's not a massive coach. It's very well equipped for a coach this size. Now this front compartment here has a little bit of storage. And we do have accessories that go with the coach, although we may take some of it out, just giving you a fair warning up front. All right, so our first compartment is where our 2 large Duracell batteries are located. Those are the 8D series 12-volt batteries, and that's right next to our fuel tank, which is 130 gallons. Put that back in place. Now the second compartment behind our front driver wheel is where our 50,000 BTU Oasis hydronic heating system is located. This also has 3,000 watts of elements, so you can heat the coolant that circulates throughout the coach via radiators, so that gives you furnace heat, and it also has a heat exchanger for hot water. So this unit is fantastic, and basically having 3,000 watts means you have 2 1,500 watt elements in your coolant. Some coaches, you know, the older ones, even during this era of 08, had just single phase 1,500 watt, which is okay, that gets the job done too, but having 2 elements on the electric side is super nice. Now right next door is our Xantrex 2012. This is an inverter, so this will take your coach side batteries, turn it into 120 volts, so you can run things like all your outlets. You can even run the microwave and TVs and stuff like that. Now the rest of this compartment is pretty much service items. This is one of the big things I like about this coach in general, is the access to everything. So not only do we have electronics, we've got relays all well labeled out over here. This is for the HWH slide outs. We've got our 50 amp power transfer box up in the top here. In the back, the very back of this compartment, we've got our HWH hydraulic reservoir, as well as the solenoids. Then we've got our accessory air compressor right there behind the inverter, and that gives us accessory compressed air when this coach is parked using auto level. So that will maintain level while you're parked. And then over here on the side of the Oasis unit is actually the hydronic reservoir for the coolant that circulates throughout the Oasis system. So anyways, this compartment has a ton of space to get to everything. We've also got thermostats for Aquahot or Oasis Bay Heat, I'm sorry. But that Oasis with unlimited hot water is super nice. And those elements. So here we've got our first pass-through storage compartment, some extra accessories in the coach, all kinds of fluids and stuff like that. Again, this is still our coach, so this might stay here on the lot. But what's awesome about this storage compartment is there is a ton of carpeted space. So super clean carpet, no sagging, no ripples. This is a nice sized slide out tray, which will go out, of course, on both sides of the coach. There's a nice little lockout, so it'll stay in place when it's out and stay in place when it's closed. Now over here on the left side, we've got a lot of electronics, some relays, fuses, all right behind this very easy to access panel. Has a little actually there's 3 wing nuts that come off and the panel comes off, giving you excellent access. Again, this reminds me of like a top-notch conversion bus. One of the things that's shared with a lot of Prevos are the air seals around both slide outs. So this coach doesn't have any toppers or slide out toppers that come out of the side. We've got these curved around the edge, beautiful slide outs with automatic air seals. And not only do we have air seals that give you an exceptional seal, these HWH hydraulic mechanisms are some of the best slide outs, hands down, that you'll find in any coach. It's pretty incredible. Well, we'll see more of that when we open the slide up. Let's move on from this little storage compartment. Right here, we've got our plumbing bay. And I actually just used the water out of this tap. So I think some leaked out there. But we've got this massive stainless tap here, outdoor faucet. I mean, it's substantial, really well built. It's a Moen outside tap. On the left, we've got a access point where you can flush fresh water through your dump tank. And then you also have, of course, your typical valves. Now this is where our 2 starting batteries are. And as we come around back, we're coming to one of the cool parts about the outside of this coach and just the coach in general. This is our engine compartment. So on the side, we've got this massive grill, but as you can see, there's no radiator back through there. You can see clean through the engine. I can even see the engine block or part of at least the oil pan in the bottom and stuff. We've got our exhaust. You can see everything very clearly. That's the first hint. Something is a little different about this Foretravel's rear end. Again, highly styled, you know, all the details in this massive fiberglass cap cost more money, like the little creases right there and the styling, as well as up on the top corners, and it kind of adds more definition to the body style of the coach as you roll down the road. Again, look at those massively recessed rear running lights. You don't really see that in most coaches. They're just kind of plopped on there. These are just totally melded into and meshed with the body style in the rear fiberglass. Now this has, first of all, an 18,000 pound towing capacity, which is a massive towing capacity. It's mainly due to this Foretravel custom travel ride chassis with 8 airbags and an incredible frame. We'll talk more about that later. But this is our 8.9 liter, 400 horsepower, or actually 425 horsepower Cummins. This is making about 1,250 pound-feet of torque. And it's got the 3000R Allison transmission with a 6-level transmission retarder. Now again, one of the only other places you're gonna see a transmission retarder is on a Prevo bus, or like you may have seen in one of our older videos, we had a Foretravel, not a Foretravel coach. We actually have had Foretravels with the transmission retarder, but we had a Van Hool bus, one of a kind, super unique. So having the transmission retarder is just epic, especially in a 38-foot coach. And you know, I'm kind of jumping about here because there's a lot of awesome things to talk about, but this engine compartment is incredibly spacious. Not only do we see all of our electronics back there mounted on a nice steel plate in a very protected place away from water. Sometimes you see manufacturers doing pretty hilarious things. We just have a ton of general space in this engine compartment, which to me is top notch, and it speaks volumes about, you know, what they think of their customers, how long people are going to own this coach, how long their customers are going to own it. Long-term stuff like that is key to see. That compressor looks brand new. We've got a bunch of service records. You know, it's not often you see that either on this age coach. Okay. I mean, that is, this is a minor detail, but that's just even more substantial of a rear compartment engine hatch than even a Prevost bus has. Sorry, Prevost bus owners. Okay, so we're now on the passenger rear quarter panel quarter of the coach, and this is where we finally find our side radiator. It's on the passenger side of the coach. Interesting, most coaches have their side radiator on the driver's side. But yeah, so we've got a bunch of radiator grills all around the butt of this coach and down on the bottom. It definitely is part of the look, and this will actually hinge out too, so you can easily access all of your radiators, transmission oil cooler, and stuff like that. Now this right here is a access compartment, which, as you can see, we have access to more filters and just general access to the rear. I can even see the rear axle, the brakes, all kinds of stuff. This has Koni FSD shocks all around. And as I briefly mentioned, which we'll again talk more about the chassis later, this has 8 airbags, so 4 airbags per axle. And there are many tricks up this coach's sleeve, so that's probably not even a good little saying to use, but this has disc brakes all the way around. So, you know, even on most high-end coaches, you get disc brakes on the front of the coach. Well, they put disc brakes on the back too. So that's another thing that, in conjunction with a lot of other huge positives about this coach, the frame, all that stuff, allows us to have that 18,000 pound towing capacity and not sweat it. Now, as we walk down the side here, this is the back of our refrigerator. This coach sports flush windows. So again, way ahead of its time in '08. And it just gives the whole coach this more slick look. And that flows with the rest of the whole entire body style so well. But anyways, those flush windows are just gorgeous. Make the coach, again, timeless in an aspect because it looks more modern, doesn't look like those old school windows, so on and so forth. Now right here, we've got the other side of our massive pass-through storage compartment. So this massive, super deep compartment back here, again, thanks to this chassis that we have this kind of storage all up in the bays. And they really tried to do as much as they could. I mean, by the way, I'm glazing over these nice bus-style doors. All the compartment doors are super nice. This is just a small storage compartment trying to give you additional space. This is pretty solid and definitely above average for a coach this size, mainly due to that massive pass-through right there with the depth all the way through it, or the height, I should say. Now this does have propane. We've got a nice sized tank here, all fully insulated and protected from the elements. We've also got a fire extinguisher there, you know, safety switch connected to a sensor. The propane is simply for the refrigerator and the stove. So both pretty dang good reasons to have propane, but our furnace is through that Oasis hydronic heater. So we just kind of have propane for the good things, you know, especially if you plan on running down the road a lot. You can run refrigerators off of inverters, but the propane is so simple and straightforward. There's actually a lot of people who really enjoy that. Anyways, this has a Girard flat awning on the top, nicely styled there, goes with the coach and gives us a ton of shade and just looks very nice on the coach, especially being that Girard is a pretty good space. There's no slides over here too, so you get full access to the shade, and just looking at it, it's such a pretty coach. By the way, notice 4 dock lights going around the coach behind each wheel, so that gives you a lot of light while you're backing into your space or while you're just camping out and you want extra patio space lighting. Let's go ahead and take a peek at the interior of this coach with the slides closed, because that's one of many benefits of having a classic timeless floor plan like this Foretravel has. All right, we are up on this one-piece fiberglass roof, and this is one of the most solid structures that you'll find on a coach. Normally on fiberglass roofs, there's a little bit of flex. This has 0. Anyways, it's in, you know, obviously excellent condition. This was kept in a warehouse and out of the elements. We haven't even washed this roof, and as you can see, it's in excellent shape. So starting in the back, we've got a old school wine guard dish. Then we've got our second roof air conditioner here. All the seals look great, and they've nicely caulked down all these extra cables for the solar and communications for the new front air conditioner. Yeah, again, all the caulking is good. There's just zero give in this roof. It's crazy. That's the top of our refrigerator. Looks great. Got a sensor for our Girard. It's a wind sensor. Also have the duct for our tanks. Let them ventilate. Got a local channel antenna up here. Large solar panel. Not exactly sure how much output this solar panel's rated at, but it's a pretty big panel. This is our front air conditioner. And we've got standard antennas up here for radio communications, as well as a Sirius XM antenna. And you know, if I'm nitpicking it, there's a touch of clear. We've got some like streaks. That's just dirty. That'll wipe off very easily. But there's a touch of clear coming off there. But and a touch of clear coming off there. But really, you don't see that at all from up top. And very minimal. You can tell this was a garage kept coach, because for an 08 show like this, if it was kept outside, we'd be seeing a lot more checking. We'd be seeing a lot more clear coming off. There's our Girard awning. It's a nice Girard awning. Roof is in excellent shape. Again, one piece fiberglass. Got a touch of clear coming off on this here. I mean, I'm nitpicking it. You can't see that at all from the ground. Very minimal, especially for this age. This coach is in really excellent condition. We do have some streaks. As you can see, that stuff will wipe off. But the roof looks really good. Really good. And again, just the solidness of it is very impressive. So this interior is an absolute classic. From the first time I walked in this bus to the many other times I've walked in and out of it, it gets me every single time. It's super clean on top of that. So as you'll go through, you'll notice how nice the furniture pieces are. The upholstery is in excellent condition all throughout the coach. Now, right up here in the front of the coach, our control center is located right over here. We do have that amazing HWH slide. It is such a tank of a slide. The control for that is right here. It has an air seal around the slide too. You also have controls for all the main lighting in the front general area of the coach. And that's right below our thermostat, which controls the heat from your Oasis system as well as your two air conditioners. There is a Onan generator start button here. This has that 10,000 watt Onan quiet diesel generator in it. And below that, we've got our inverter control. Now this bus, it's such a classic. The interior is just beautiful. We've got this angled floor, wood floor throughout the bus until we get to our bedroom. I personally really like having carpet in the bedroom, and I don't know, this interior is exquisite. It's my favorite coach on the lot, and one of the reasons is this interior. Now we've got a nice little recliner here. Obviously, the front two seats swivel, and the passenger seat here is a recliner. So you've got two recliners sitting around this very large sort of semicircle type shape Corian countertop. And I love how thick they made this look. It just makes it look a lot more substantial and meant to be there. Now down below, there is a bunch of storage. There's also outlets down there, so you can plug in laptop, all that stuff, even a printer if you want. There are Oasis registers everywhere, so you've got a little heat register down there. Magazine compartment for the passenger. You can also keep maps and all that good stuff, all made out of solid wood. That is another thing that's just amazing throughout this coach, is all of this solid, beautiful cabinet work and accent trim pieces. I mean, look at this little centerpiece in between the couch and the booth dinette. It's just beautiful. And around the windows, not only do we have these wood pieces, we've got these little leather pieces too that sit on extra accent pieces of wood. It's a stunning coach. All the details have been thought of, and it's just such a classy and elegant old school interior. And I've been showing other customers who've had the joy of coming out here and meeting us in person and looking at these coaches in person. they have seen and they hear from me too. This is my favorite coach on the lot. I don't care what you're buying from us. I'll tell you that straight up. Now this right here is our couch, and you do have a nice amount of storage down below. And this couch will jackknife, and that knocks over a thing I want to talk about. So this right here is a bunch of service records. Now what I tell people generally is, you know, a lot of times in used coaches, you don't get a ton of history and service records with the bus. It's just how it is. Some people get private. Some people just keep records as they go, and it's in some file cabinet somewhere, or they just do the service themselves. This coach does have a good chunk of old history from its past. And then over here, we've got basically our maintenance schedule type stuff. So how you should, you know, take care of certain things, how you should seal it up, all kinds of interesting information that has to do with specifically Foretravel coaches, which is super cool. We do have a random Jeep Grand Cherokee accessory thing on here, but that is a nice little piece to have. Yeah, the wood floor really goes well with this interior. This is our booth dinette. Very comfortable. A lot of people love booth dinettes. You sit down, it's just so cushiony. The furniture in this coach is made by Villa. If you haven't heard Villa, they're made out in California. They're put in all of the high-end coaches like Mule, Prevost Bus, the Newmark King Air, things like that, American Coach on their high-end coaches. Villa is a top-notch furniture manufacturer, and that is what all of these pieces have been made by. That's why not only is the condition superb, but the actual fit, the way they're designed, the stitching, it's all very top-notch. Now these windows do vent out, so you unlatch this piece right here, and then you twist, and you've got these little vents here with removable screens. That window over there is an emergency, so the entire piece will flop out. These windows do open too. And when you're sitting here, you just get a view of all these lights, these recessed lights that are mounted up in the cabinet space. It looks gorgeous, especially when you start factoring in all these little leather trim pieces around the windows. It's stunning. Now, these windows are flush mounted. So on the outside, they look flush and they're very clear. Don't see any fog here. The fog is minimal on this coach. Let me go and step up. Now, no coach is perfect, of course, and this coach isn't perfect. If you're expecting a perfect coach, or you know, something where you're not going to have a little tiny flaw maybe here and there, you probably don't even want to waste your time coming to look at the coach, and you should probably be looking at a new one with a warranty. But if you're looking for a nice used coach that has a ton to offer, a whole lot more than 9 out of 10 or 99% of coaches out there, this is the one to look for, because Foretravel is one of the most excellent manufacturers out there, and this one has been taken care of extremely well. I mean, look at all the fit and finish down here too. They didn't have to finish all this wood out, but they even did the cabinet work for these pieces here, and even the little mount that holds the table up is all finished wood, and we have these super deep drawers. So the storage is immense. I mean, that's the thing I love about a nice older built coach. It really reminds me a lot of a high-end Monaco coach in here, because it's extremely practical as far as camping goes, but then it's just done so well and with such a feeling of class and pride that sometimes you don't get in these newer coaches that throw LEDs everywhere and expect that to be what catches your eye. That's not true in this older Foretravel coach here. Now the countertop here is just sleek looking, elegant. We've got a good bit of space, especially considering this is a 38-foot coach. Dual stainless sink. We've got this beautiful, this is a touch operated faucet right here. So very modern, very sleek. I love this backsplash. They just gave you a very utilitarian type backsplash made out of stone, and to me that feels of higher quality than a lot of those complicated mosaic stuff. If you do complicated mosaic stuff, you better do it right with the rest of the style, or else it just kind of looks gaudy. This looks like a sort of chef's kitchen squeezed into a 38-foot coach. And what makes me say that even more is all this storage. Now look how clean that carpet is down there. Super clean carpet. We've got a nice little water filter cartridge right there and a ton of storage. So very deep, super clean, nice wood drawers. And then you got these two massive drawers right here. That's some extra racks for our microwave / convection oven. But look how deep this drawer is. You could get all your pots and pans easily into these two drawers alone and still have a ton of extra space, like this massive multiple entry point cabinet space right there. You've got two little fold outs here, and of course those drawers. Up above the sink here, we've got this little shelf cabinet, all solid wood. Kaya always laughs at me because every time I'm in a nice coach that has a classic wood interior, I'm always doing this. I'm like, look, solid wood, look, right there is wood too. She's shaking her head behind. Yeah, so this is all solid wood. We might be able to get some of these little air shocks, but that's a deep amount of storage. We just had our friends, shout out to Larry and Paula, walk in here, and Paula was talking about how all of this storage is completely what you think it is. You open it up, it's got a massive opening that matches this opening, and it's as deep as it looks. I mean, it goes all the way out. It's huge. And that's the same. She was pointing it out on this too. Look at this. You open this up, and it's the size it is, right? It's not like a tiny little drawer. It's got this massive drawer, and that is super nice. Another little nice touch that I like on this interior is the Corian countertops really look dense. So you've got this thick piece here, and that's the same with that Corian countertop up in the front. I think I already mentioned that, yeah. So that's continued throughout the coach, this thick countertop line, even on this little hutch area over on the other side of the kitchen, which we'll talk about in a second. Because first we're going to mention this GE microwave convection oven, and you can bake in this if you'd like. It's a really high-end microwave convection oven. And down below, we've got in the middle of this massive amount of countertop space for a 38-footer, we've got a dual Princess gas-fired stove. Now this is a side-by-side Dometic refrigerator. It's actually pretty dang sizable. Very tall too, so we've got a lot of shelf space here, clean. Have an ice maker over there on the left. And this will work off of either gas or electric. And there are a lot of people that actually really like having the option to run this off of propane. Super easy, doesn't cost much power at all, and it's actually very convenient in a lot of situations. So across from this kitchen galley space where the refrigerator and the stove and all that is, we've got a nice little pantry here. So drawers all down here, and they finished these little pieces out, as well as stained the interior of this cabinet. And I like the fact that they've stained the top piece of this little support bar. That's like a small detail you'll see in cheaper coaches, where you open it up and it's like this support beam is just not, like they didn't finish the top out. It's like, really? Why didn't you do that? Same with all these pieces on the inside, which I really like that piece right there. A lot of times you'll see skimped on. So that's a ton of storage. Not even including, look at all these drawers. I mean, I just keep going with this storage space in this coach. This one is super deep. So storage space is great. Hutch area right here, a little more countertop space with the mirror. And up above, we have more controls for our inverter, check the tanks. And you also have your Oasis hydronic heating control, which does have two 1500 watt immersion elements in the boiler system. So you can get hot water and some furnace heat through electric power. Now let's take a step back into the bathroom area. And this really is a classic floor plan. I absolutely love it. I fell in love with it. One of the big things that poked out in my mind was just the way they've set this whole thing up from the bathroom back to the bedroom is just, it's absolutely beautiful and timeless. And it just feels so comforting and cozy to be back in here. Now this has a pretty large sink in the middle, pretty big bowl too. That's a Kohler bowl. Have the stone kind of wrapping around this mirror here. Very interesting mirror setup. So you've got the lower part of that mirror as well as these mirrors up in this big solid cabinet space, which again is super large. You get a free hanger, possibly, and a free Myers Clean Day soap. Clean Day soap. There are outlets hidden up in this cabinet right here. And again, finishing out this piece that goes around the outlets, just going the extra mile everywhere in this coach. And those mirrors look super nice. The quality of them, I can just feel the quality of them just looking through them. You also have a little more of those ceiling accent pieces, even in the bathroom. It's got these little leather covered pieces, wood wrapped, and the lights are actually hidden with these little leather surround pieces. So it just looks a lot nicer in here. And again, to me, it's kind of timeless, the way they have these lights set up and the ceiling set up. You can't place a time period, it's just elegant. Now the shower, we have a missing door here. So we've got a little plastic thing here in place. To be quite honest, I actually really like the shower curtain. I find it kind of easy to use. However, a new shower door is about 800 bucks. Not really a big deal. We've got a nice stone shower back here, stone walled shower. Little soap holders that are made out of stone. And it's very tall in here. There's a little crack on this plastic piece, the sunlight, but there's no soft roof here. It's all in excellent shape all the way up on the ceiling. And I love the stone walled shower. This is actually a pretty sizable shower. And I'm about 5'11". So as you can see, I can reach completely up in this very tall shower and ceilings. That's a big shower. Okay, across the hallway we have what is called the potty room. So this is where we have our porcelain push button Dometic toilet. Got that stone accent piece down on the floor here. Leather wrapped around the window, which gives it a unique look. And a ton of recessed lighting in addition to a fantastic fan. Here we've got a sizable hamper. Ton of storage back here. And then we have a washer dryer stack and two separate little compartments. Both carpeted, and here we go. We've got additional lighting. We've got additional lighting up in the top there. But this is a nice little setup. Now let's take a step back into the bedroom back here. It's a classic. We've got a north-south bed with a nice wardrobe on our slide out. So we've got plenty of walk space around this bed. And the slide out gives us this huge wardrobe that is carpeted on the bottom. We've got our extra leaf. There's a nice little shelf for your shoes. And we have all the original manuals to this coach, which is super nice to have. All in a little Foretravel owner's manual and user information. It has the model number on it, and it has the VIN number for this coach on it. But this slide out is super nice because it gives us our huge wardrobe space, and yet we can easily walk around this bed. There's no shelves lining that wall over there because we've got a bunch of storage everywhere else. So it's easy to walk around on that side. And we still have more storage. I mean, it's crazy. Look at all these drawers. We've got these super deep drawers down on the bottom. There's 3 of them. Oh yeah, let me open that up again. With the just beautiful woodwork too. But yeah, the bedroom is super nice, and there are countertop spaces on both sides of the bed. And there's drawers even. I mean, this is a full nightstand on each side. In addition to all the storage up above. It's just super deep. There's just storage, more storage. What else do you want? This headboard is quite nice. I just love the feel of this rear bedroom. It's super nice. And for me, I'd just be hanging out in here, really enjoying the atmosphere. I love how all this wood is just kind of shaped, giving it kind of a multifaceted look. And we also have the Gen Start button right up here too, so you can start the coach up in the middle of the night. But it's just cozy, well built, and timeless coach interior. The floor plan is called the 38 Classic. This interior is absolutely exquisite. It's my favorite coach on the lot right now, and it's not often you see this interior on any coach platform, regardless of the year. Let's go test drive it. The driving perspective is quite excellent. You know, with this massively wrapped around one-piece windshield, and the fact that our dash is pretty low profile, you have an excellent perspective while driving down the road. And the coach is so upright and it just wants to go straight and be set. It feels very solid, and the chassis to me is absolutely top notch. With those 4 airbags per axle, it has a absolutely beautiful ride. Magic carpet is a way I would like to describe it. The way you feel the whole thing just kind of absorb bumps. But the biggest thing I like about it is really how solid the steering feels, how solid the whole chassis feels. It doesn't want to sway a lot at all. It doesn't want to get affected by bumps in the road. This is an incredible chassis for sure, and driving experience. And the transmission retarder being over here is the perfect spot. It's super strong, especially in a 38 footer. And you know, my vision of all my gauges is quite nice. How I have my steering wheel set, I can see every single gauge perfectly. They're very clear and easy to make out. We also have this updated CarPlay unit over here, as well as a dedicated screen for our Total Vision backup camera, which, remember, you can move with that joystick. You also have a button right here dedicated to switching the camera view from your 3 different cameras on the coach, because of course we have side cameras mounted in those Ramco mirrors. The coach is outstanding. Obviously, the power is really good for a 38 footer. We've got a 425 horsepower in the back. But wow, it feels like an enthusiast bus to drive. It's very pleasurable. And from my perspective, this is one of the many massive positives that you get when you're interested in a top-notch coach like this one, is a top-notch driving experience that's really on its own, stands on its own. You know, obviously it's still a bus, so the way it handles is similar. If anything, it reminds me of a really nice Roadmaster Monaco chassis. I really like how this front end turns and feels. It's quite special. All around, this is a quite special coach, but I'm so happy to tell you that the driving experience is perfectly seamless with the rest of my conceptions about this coach, of being an enthusiast bus and just being very well built. Thank you so much for watching. This coach it's special. It's my favorite. It's my baby. So it's gonna be bittersweet to see some very lucky new owners take ownership from us. But I also look forward to it. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day. We will catch you on the next one.